Identity Part 4 is a song originally created by SHK for the rhythm game O2 Jam and was mapped for OS by the famed Angel Honey and ranked on February 20th, 2012. With the top difficulty having an approach rate of 8 and clocking in at only 140 beats per minute, at first you may think it's a fairly simple map, but you would be mistaken. The repeating rhythms in the middle and end of the song are mapped as streams, using cuts and higher spacing. By the ending, the streams are cut into groups of 4, with the spacing and angle between cuts becoming increasingly brutal. The map will throw you for a loop no matter how you play it, but the stats mentioned earlier led many players to attempt the map at 1.5 times the speed by using double time. Popularized by Choco Mint's early double time attempts in 2013 and eventual hidden double time FC in 2016, many would take on the challenge of Identity Part 4. One of these players, however, would eventually go above and beyond, making it their mission to push the map to its limits. TheKushVanMan is an American player best known nowadays for his speed scores, especially those on older maps with cut streams. Back in 2016, however, he had no idea how to properly hit cuts or anything about aim control. He first played Identity Part 4, attempting to pass the map with double time by tapping and just praying that he didn't miss aim or note lock. As he grew as a player, he improved at these aspects, and 5 years after he first played the map, he got a double time full combo on April 21st, 2021, after hundreds of tries on the map. It wasn't over for TheKushVanMan, as he became intrigued with adding an extra mod to the map, Hard Rock. With double time and Hard Rock, Identity Part 4 becomes ridiculously hard. Every difficult aspect of the map being amplified as the stats rise to circle size 6.5, approach rate 11, and both OD and HP 10.98. The circles insanely small, the approach rate as high as it gets, the hit windows impossibly tight, and the HP drain, well, you better hope that you don't have more than a few misses in a row. Already knowing the map and wanting to see if it was even possible to pass with such high stats, he unknowingly began one of the biggest grinds in OS history. Dumping in dozens of attempts, it wasn't even necessarily something TheKushVanMan focused on too hard, he just wanted to play the map. He showed he was capable of getting very good runs with no fail enabled, but the HP drain was just too relentless for the time being. Eventually, the double time Hard Rock pass would come on April 2nd, 2021, with 90.32% accuracy, 17 misses, and just over half combo. From there, the only thing to do was to keep improving the score. Playing more than just regular OS, he greatly utilized the practice client known as Mikosu to push his own limits, as well as dumping in a few attempts on Identity Part 4 every session. By the time TheKushVanMan had put 1 to 2,000 play count into the map, he was finally able to reach a single-digit miss count, which changed his mindset completely. Not only was it possible to get a good pass with double-time Hard Rock, if he was only missing a few times, then maybe an FC could come down the line, and possibly even a new top play. His play count would increase and his personal bests would get better, eventually setting lower miscounts and even setting plays consistently over 90% accuracy. 9,000, 10,000, then 11,000 plays. Continuing to utilize his sessions both on OS and Mikosu, TheKushVanMan would see huge improvements some days, but some others he felt like he was getting nowhere. 14,000, 15,000, 16,000 plays. This got especially bad the lower he pushed the miscount, effectively being stuck for an entire year with minimal or practically no development. 19,000, 20,000, 21,000 plays. Over the summer and into fall 2023, the improvements were finally coming. 3 miss, 2 miss, even 1 miss runs, and attempts with combos nearing the ending. This culminated with the highest accuracy run TheKushVanMan ever got. 95.34% 1 miss, 25 combo from the end, which would become his new highest PP play at 839 PP. Everyone knew he was nearing the FC, he just needed the right run. October 8th, 2023, 7 years since TheKushVanMan had first played Identity Part 4. Another day of putting in a few tries, little did he know, it was finally time. 22,681 play count. Playing through, keeping 95% accuracy for most of the run, he hit the same patterns he had grown familiar with throughout the years. As the ending section came, he began dropping more 100s, but in the very end, with the most difficult spacing and angles of all the cut streams, he did it.
Holy shit. Oh my fucking god. I didn't think the AC was that low. I thought I was gonna get the S rank.
11 years after it was ranked, Identity Part 4 now had a double-time Hard Rock FC with 92.32% accuracy. Although it did beat his 95.34% one-miss top play, he had finally done it. With sheer determination and an unwillingness to give up, the TheKushVanMan was able to achieve what was once considered nearly impossible. The community reaction to the play was universal celebration and praise, especially with social media lighting up with messages and memes. In the weeks following, a few more top players have started trying the map with Double Time Hard Rock, notably Emrek and Akoro, but they haven't been able to FC just yet. Just over 1.1% of the set's entire play count and 3.7% of the Insane Diff's play count comes from the TheKushVanMan alone, and this map makes up almost 1/10 of his entire play count. He has continued grinding other maps with Double Time Hard Rock, such as Pure Ruby and Ubertreffen, just not to the insane degree that he did Identity Part 4. Players like the TheKushVanMan continually push the limits of what's possible in OS in ways that few dare to, so who knows what's coming next.